for joining me for today's active recovery and mobility movement practice. The goal here is to keep your joints healthy and to promote better overall movement and mobility so that you can stay fit and lead an active life free from chronic aches and pains. Let's get right into it today. We're leading off today with tucked rocking. This movement pattern is going to help you with spinal mobility and core activation. Round your spine, brace your core, and gently hold onto your knees as you rock back and forth. As you rock up to a sitting position, you can elongate your spine and perform a few gentle movements to loosen up your shoulders, upper back, and neck. For an extra core challenge, maintain this tucked position while pressing your hands into your knees. Continue exploring these different variations, small rocks back and forth, rocking up to a sitting position and adding some spinal mobility and incorporating rotation by rocking back at an angle. Don't move into painful ranges of motion and modify these movements so that they work for your body. Continue on for the next 30 seconds. Moving on to our next movement, we've got supine bridge reaches. Lie back with your knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground. Press your hips up to the ceiling. Roll to your side onto one shoulder and then extend your top arm into a reach. Elongate into the reach. Hold the stretch for a few seconds with deep breathing, then roll back onto your shoulders and roll over to the other side. Once you've got a base of mobility and stability and you're feeling confident with this movement pattern, start exploring the range of motion. Reach at different angles, change your foot positioning and your orientation. Keep going for the next 40 seconds. Last 10 seconds here with our bridge reaches. Alright, let's move on. Roll back onto your back, lower your hips and extend your legs. Next up, we've got an overhead leg lift to a rock up and forward reach. You can start out by testing your range of motion on the leg lift. On your back, keep your core and legs braced, lift your legs overhead. If you feel a lot of tension in your hamstrings, bend your knees slightly. Once you've got a sense of your range of motion on the leg lift, then you're going to begin to lower your legs and use that momentum to rock up and reach forward. As you rock up, keep your knees bent, plant the soles of your feet, and use the strength of your hips and core to reach forward. Continue working through this movement for the next 30 seconds. That's time. Next, we're moving on to a seated pike stretch. Sit up tall with your legs fully extended out in front of you. Brace your core and lean from your hips, pulsing several times into the stretch. If you're feeling pain or experiencing a lot of tension in your hamstrings or just having a really hard time holding this sitting position, then I encourage you to elevate your hips with a block or a rolled up towel. This will allow you to maintain a better position by keeping your shoulders back and your pelvis rolled forward. By taking the time to set up a better position, you'll ensure that the stretch is targeting your hamstrings and you're building the compressive strength through your core and hip flexors. We'll spend 30 more seconds here. Again, as you feel comfortable, begin exploring the angles and the variations that feel best for your body. Okay, let's move on. Next, transition into your side sit position. You'll want to set this position up for mobility and stretch by opening your legs to about 90-degree angles. In order to work on your mobility, you'll first need to be able to set up and maintain these positions with soft strength. So if just holding the side sit position is super uncomfortable or requiring a ton of effort, then I want you to modify. Prop up your front hip with your block or your rolled up towel. That'll accommodate your mobility, allow you to perform better work to progressively reclaim your range of motion. Once you're in this position, there's a number of movements that you can explore. The two I'm going to highlight today are folding forward into the front hip and then internally and externally rotating the back hip. Continue working on this side for 20 more seconds and then we'll switch. Time to switch sides. Set up your side sit position on the other hip and continue working through your forward folds and internal-external rotations. Next, we'll work a transition from the side sit position into a split kneeling position. Slightly tuck in your front leg, maintain a tall posture and a braced core. Press your lower legs into the floor, drive your hips forward and rise to your knees. With control, sit back down to the ground into your side sit position. Switch your hips and repeat on the other side. Move smoothly and mindfully through the sequence. Use your hands in contact with the ground for additional support as needed, and while in the split kneel position, incorporate reaching for a deeper stretch. Take your time to set up strong positions and remember to keep breathing. Continue on, alternating from side to side for the next 30 seconds. Lower back down to your side sit position and we'll move on with the practice. The next sequence is a side sit leg sweep to a figure four position into an open half kneel. This sequence definitely requires a blend of strength and mobility. As you're building it up, don't hesitate to use assistance from your hands. Sit back from the half kneeling position and then switch your hips over to the other side sit position. Lift and swing your back leg forward. Drop your heel and then shift your weight forward to glide into a half kneeling stretch. With control, sit back into the seated figure four position, switch your legs, and repeat on the other side. Make this sequence a little bit more varied and playful by reaching for an object like a water bottle and repositioning at a different point around your space. Continue working through the pattern for the next 40 seconds. And now we'll move on to our final sequence in today's practice. We'll flow between a deep squat and a prone spinal extension. Start off in a version of the deep squat that allows you to keep your chest up and your spine long. Then plant your hands, walk forward to a plank, then press your hips to the floor for a prone spinal extension. Sit back, walk your hands back, and return to your deep squat. Repeat this sequence for the next minute. That's a wrap for today. I hope you're feeling loose, limber, and great in your body. If you enjoyed this video, before you go, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the links below for more ways to train with me. Thank you so much for taking the time today for some mindful mobility. Take good care of yourself, keep on moving, and I'll see you in the next practice.